Hey guys, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you haven't been here already, please do subscribe. This video is going to be all about how I got this hair red. And I apologize in advance because I lost a lot of footage, but let's get started. I started off by bleaching the hair using Wella's Colorcharm Powder Lightener and 20 Volume Developer. And I took my scooper and I just put three full scoops of the powdered bleach into the dye bowl. And I grabbed the developer and I basically just eyeballed how much I thought I wanted to put in there and kept mixing. I was going for a really runny consistency, and as you can see, this is not runny. The dye brush is sticking straight up because the bleach is that stiff. So I just basically kept adding developer and mixing until it was like a drippy kind of runny consistency like what you see here. And the reason why I like the consistency to be like more drippy, more runny is because it's like 10 times easier to apply bleach to hair when it's that consistency rather than when it's really thick. So after I got it how I wanted it, I basically just started from the ends, working my way up to the top where the weft is, and just started applying the bleach little bit by little bit. And I always like to have about like an inch or so, like I want my roots to be black, so I just left that part unbleached so that we know when I finally make the wig, after all of the hair is nice and colored, that I would still have the black roots. And I find that I'm way more like comfortable doing any kind of color whatsoever as long as the roots are black. So like all of my color hair, always the roots will be black. I just took it, I flipped it on the other side, I just applied the bleach to the parts on the other side that didn't receive any bleach, rolled it on up, and then did the rest of the bundle that I wasn't able to do because it was kind of like hanging off the table. And I lost the footage of me doing this, but I wrapped it up in some aluminum foil and I let it process for an hour and a half. This is me taking the hair out after the hour and a half that I let it process, and I'm rinsing it. I made sure I give it like a really good rinse, a really good thorough rinse before I started to wash it. And I washed it with Shimmer shampoo, and this shampoo basically helps take away all of the brassy type of tones in the hair. And I washed it with the Shimmer shampoo, I let it sit for 5 minutes, and here I am rinsing out the Shimmer shampoo. And then I put it on a hanger and I let it dry. And I am coloring the hair now. I used Adora Crimson hair dye, and I normally would mix some developer with the dye, but I didn't do that this time. I just applied the color straight by itself to the bundles. And I applied the color basically the same way that I applied the bleach, making sure I'm very thorough. I lost a lot of footage of showing exactly how I did everything, but it's basically the same kind of process from my video about how I dyed my purple hair, so you can look at that for reference. I let the hair sit in the color and process for about an hour, and I came back out, and right now what I'm doing is rinsing. I'm not washing yet. I'm rinsing the hair. And it's really important, I think, to make sure you get as much of like the excess product out of the hair as possible before you wash. I am washing with this Renpure Argan Oil Shampoo, and I'm just using my comb to make sure that, I'm getting it through, I'm being really thorough, and just taking it through and washing it. I washed it with the Renpure shampoo twice. After using the shampoos, now it's time for conditioner. I'm using silicone mix, and I love using silicone mix on all of my hair extensions because it really just makes the hair really super duper soft. So I'm just using my comb, I'm just making sure I'm getting the silicone mix all up and through there, and just take a look at it before I put it in this plastic bag. That color literally was amazing me. I'm looking at it like this is gonna be so beautiful when I put it on my head. Admittedly, I was a little nervous because it looked a little bright, but I was ready for this. And then basically, yeah, just put it in a plastic bag, and I let it sit in the plastic bag for 30 minutes. What you see me doing here now is I'm using the Silk Elements Strength and Silk Coconut Heat Protection Spray and spraying it all into the hair in preparation for blow drying and straightening the hair. What I really love about this spray is that it does a really good job of making the hair really soft and silky. So, that's definitely upside to this spray. And in this video, I'm not going to be demonstrating how I constructed the wig because I have other videos demonstrating how I did that. So I'll leave the link for that in the description box. But what I'm doing here for straightening it is after I apply one bundle, I'll go ahead and apply the spray and blow dry and straighten it. And then when I'm done with that, I'll apply the next bundle and then, do that bundle and so on and so forth. And I do that for the sake of being thorough. It just makes it way easier for me to do it as I'm making the wig. And now I'm working on the closure. I already sprayed the Silk Element spray in the closure, and what I'm doing now is I'm covering up the tracks. So I'm gonna start at the back and then apart a small row and then flat iron it so it can cover those tracks. And then, you know, I go to the other side and then flat iron that so it can cover those tracks, if that makes any sense. I want to cover the perimeter first so that, you know, first of all, the tracks are out of the way. And then after I'm done with that, basically, I'm just going to continue to just work my way towards my middle part, you know, parting a little bit by little bit. And it's really important to take your time and to only flat iron like a little row at a time, because that is what is really going to make sure that that closure is laid and slayed and flat as it can be, is if you just take a little bit at a time. And basically I just kept on repeating that process until I got to the part in the middle where I wanted it to be. And now I'm going to take my Hicks edge control and spread it across my palms and spread it over the closure in order to get it laid and in order to get rid of the flyaways. And this is really effective. Any edge control will do, really. I took my tweezers and I plucked it a little bit, but I think it's way easier to see what you're doing when you're plucking it on your own head or on your client's head. So that's what I'm doing here. I just put the wig on and I started plucking away at that closure until it was how I wanted it to be. And I'm in love so far, but in order to lay the closure a little bit more, I'm putting more of that Hicks edge control over the closure, and I'm also going to spray Spritz over it as well. What the edge control does is it helps it to look really laid. It gives it that laid look, and then applying the Spritz makes sure that the hair stays exactly where I left it. There was that one hair in the front that wasn't cooperating with me, so I took my flat iron and I basically just made sure I pressed out the root and I held my finger on there while it was hot to make sure it stays in place. And then I sprayed a little bit more of the Spritz on it, and I used the back of my comb and basically just like kind of pressed it so it can stay where I wanted it to be, if that makes any sense. That's what you do if you have that hair in the front that's not, you know, it's not with the program. And basically, I am done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'm so sorry that I lost some of the footage. That's why you didn't see me dyeing the closure or anything. But, you know, at any rate, please follow me on Instagram, on Snapchat, and on, you know, all of my social media so that we can connect. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.